Hello and welcome back to Forza Horizon 4. Another new week means another new season. We're into spring season, which means there is another brand new car to go and test out here on Forza Horizon 4. And this week it is the RX-7, the first generation of RX-7, which I believe has been in previous Forza games. I think I've seen it in some motorsport games in the past, but I don't think it's been in a Horizon before. But anyway, we have now got the first gen of RX-7, which, as you can see, you win from... It would help if I didn't close that page, as I was about to explain that. You win from the Midnight Mazda seasonal event. So if you go in and do that, you win the car. Only one series you have to do for this. You don't have to go and get 50% like we did last week for the Ford. Which, if you haven't already seen that video, that went up same time last week. And the week before that, we looked at the GT70 and... before that, the Zenvo. But yeah, this week it's the RX-7, which I think is quite a cool little thing. More interesting than the Ford last week, which is an interesting car, but we have already got the normal version of it. But yes, this time RX-7. Actually, I haven't done this for a long time. I've not been doing this in the videos. Let's have a quick check what's in here. There is a Portofino and a Fiat Dino, if you want either of those. And there's these two things which I don't have. Yes, I do want a Disco Chicken outfit and a blue racing suit, because I don't have either of those. Very cool. Right, anyway. To the new Mazda, which we need to test out. So, as always, I'll test it out stock and run over a few bits of info about the car, and then we'll head back to the garage to see what upgrades and customization are available for it. I do actually want to check which gearbox it's got, because... I can't remember. Is it a 5-speed? Yes, it is the one with the 5-speed manual. Basically, it was available with 4 gearboxes, and one of them's a 5-speed manual, which we appear to have. Right, that is very cool. So yes, the Mazda RX-7. Very interesting car. Mostly well known for being a rotary engine, which is obviously the sort of unusual thing about it. But yeah, this Generation 1... the SA generation, replaced the outgoing Mazda RX-3. These are all known as Mazda Savannas over in Japan, so... Anyway, yeah, RX-3 was replaced with the RX-7, not quite sure what happened to the 4, 5 and 6. Obviously we ended up with the 8 later on, after several generations of 7, but yes. First gen RX-7. Produced between 1978 and 1985. This is a 1985 model we've been given in the game. It has 135 horsepower, which feels a bit like this. It's not actually as slow as I thought it would be. But yeah, this one we've got in Forza is the biggest engine as well. It's a 1.3. Apparently it was also available in a 1.1 and a 1.1 turbo. But yeah, this is the replacement for the RX-3. And then eventually was obviously replaced with the 2 newer generations of RX-7, which we have here in the game, of course, already. So obviously replaced with the 1990, that style. And then eventually this RX-7, oh, well, the 97 and the 2002. And then obviously RX-8 came out. But yeah. It's a very cool little thing. It's kind of probably the most important generation of RX-7, just because it's the first one. So you might prefer the other ones, but this came first. So, kind of deserves a place in the game. Kind of surprised it's not already in here, given it... I think it was in a motorsport game. I could be wrong. It could have been that RX-3. One of the older Mazda RX cars was in there anyway. But yeah, it's cool to have it here alongside the other two. I do quite like this thing. I'm probably not as excited by this as I was by the GT70 and the Zenvo. But still, very cool. And like I say, I think it's more interesting than the Ford Escort rally car. But as we're here at Bamborough Castle, conveniently, let's have a quick look at upgrades and customization and see if the wonderful Forza community have made any nice designs. Already. I'm filming this quite soon after this car is out. Right, so, shall we do our usual kind of tyres, make it grip a little bit better, bring the track width out. We need to do something about those wheels, because they might have looked good back in the 1970s, but they look a bit dated now. So I might have to do something about that in a minute. Let's have a quick look at this, see if the... Oh! Okay, I've not messed about with this car in previous games, I don't think, but we do have some bumpers. I like that one. We have a wing that isn't a Forza wing. Yes. Should we go with the matching? I actually like that. And then what have we got as side skirts? Oh, interesting. Yes. That looks quite cool. Nice. It's good to have some options for a change. Right. I will have a look at engine swaps. If you're crazy enough to want to swap out the... Please say we've got the... Yes. I was going to say I need to check engine swaps anyway, but I won't be swapping it out. But I want to give that a go. I'll leave it with the standard engine for now. We'll just do our sort of standard upgrades, but I want to come back and swap that in. I'll do my usual brake, suspension, gearbox. Do I usually do these? I do usually do these, but I don't usually do weight reduction. But yes, we do need to swap that quadrotor in, if it's an option. But yeah, for now, like I say, we'll do the gearbox. I'll find a nice paint. We'll swap out those wheels, because they are dreadful. Now, what have we got? What sort of thing do I usually go for? I've been using these a lot recently on my Japanese cars. Do you know what? They work quite well. I don't want to be boring, but let's put those on. And then see what designs the wonderful community have come up with. We are into C-Class, well, we're almost at the top of C-Class with that. Obviously, the quadrotor puts it right into S1. So we need to make a sort of crazy build, I think, after this. But for now, if we go into here and see if anything's... That's quite cool. Is that allowed anymore? I thought we weren't... that's technically a rising sun, isn't it? I thought that was banned. I guess maybe not just a circle. That's not really Falcon, as it is. It's quite cool. Some of the race car ones are cool. I do quite like that. I'm going to put that on just because I am. Maybe I should have saved that to do when we put the engine in. But anyway. It's a racing car, it's fine. So yeah, let's see how it should basically just handle a little bit better, but not be massively faster. And then we will come back and put a quadrotor in it, because what else would you be doing? That's going to be so noisy. I'm not actually sure what else you can put the quadrotor in. I know you can put it in the limo. Oh, and it's 100, and that's almost a 13 as well. That's very cool. And I do quite like yellow cars. I think all cars... I haven't found a car that doesn't look good in yellow yet. So yeah, it's the same sort of thing. It's just going to grip up a bit better than it did before. Actually, as we're here, I've kind of already messed this up because I've gone the wrong way around the screen. I was going to say, as we're here, we might as well do a lap round what is effectively Bamber Coast Circuit. And then go and swap the quadrotor in, just because that's going to be brilliant. Because anything with a quadrotor is brilliant. Yeah. It's not the fastest thing in the world. even with the, like I said, it was mostly handling upgrades, so it really isn't powerful. But I think it is time to go a bit mad and put the Quadrotor in, so that's what we'll do next. Back to Bamborough. Ah, let's just go this way. Enter castle. Don't enter playground games. Which I've definitely not done by mistake before. Alright. So it looks like a racing car. Let's now make it go like a racing car. Where was the engine? Right. Quadrotor. We'll leave it rear-wheel drive. We'll leave the current aero that we've got on it, because I think that looks... Well, it looks better than Forza aero, doesn't it? Let's be honest. We've done all of this. Done all of this, so... Oh, it's not a lot you can do with this engine. I forget that you can't actually... I think the gearbox is right. Sometimes that changes when you... Sometimes that goes back to stock, doesn't it, when you change the engine? I'm sure it does. Anyway. I think that's going to be a bit mad, but very lots of fun. So let's go and test that out. That's quite an expensive engine, isn't it? 60,000, and we've swapped out the... Fair enough, it's for another rotary engine. Don't be mad. If I'd put a V8 or something in it, fair enough. You could unsubscribe and never watch anything again. But it is still a rotary engine, so... And it sounds like that. This is going to be a much quicker lap and a much noisier lap. The yellow and black actually looks a bit like a bumblebee, which is rather appropriate with that noise going on. Okay, it's a little bit mad. I've accidentally made a drift car. I'll tell you what, with some drift suspension on, it might not actually make a bad drift machine. So at the moment, it's not entirely controllable, which isn't that kind of what we expected from a rotary swapped, well, Quadrotor swapped S1 class RX-7. I mean, it's brilliant and I love it, but... Okay, I quite like this thing now. It's a bit mental, but... I'd say I almost like this as much as the Zenvo and the GT70. I think it's been a good selection of cars this time out. I think it was kind of let down a bit by the Ford Escort, which we've basically already got. We've got the standard version, which I talked about before, but we also have a Hoonigan Ford Escort Mark II. Or that generation, anyway. I think it's a Mark II. So that's really the least exciting car, I think, that's been added recently, but... This thing is cool. It's just been the month of cool cars. This and the GT70, it is, and the Zenvo, they're all just cool. But yeah, I think that's enough for the very noisy RX-7. But you can also put some interesting aero bits and a Quadrotor on your RX-7. Brilliant if you want to mess about with your cars. So definitely worth going in and getting this one. Unlike the Ford last week. And it turns out, even without drift suspension, or without really meaning to turn it into a drift car, I have. But yeah, I think that's probably going to do it for a first look at this new RX, well, the oldest RX-7 in the game, which is actually the newest RX-7 in the game, because it's only just been added. Yes, that. So that'll do it for a look at the first-gen RX-7. If you haven't seen the videos the previous few weeks with the Escort, the GT70, and the whatever we had that week, the Zenvo, I always miss it because it's over here, those are already up on the channel. And the next 4 weeks, I think, we're mostly getting Holdens in the next update. That seems to be what people have guessed from the clues. So if you want to see me check out some of the Holdens that are being added, they'll probably be the ones that were in Horizon 3, any Holdens that haven't been carried forward. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing those in Horizon 4. But yeah, a lot of these updates are just them adding cars from previous games, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, it's good they are still adding vehicles, and hopefully that'll continue. I'm not sure if we're going to hear about the next Forza soon, or possibly you might have heard details about it yesterday by the time this video goes out, because there was an Xbox stream. So either we'll have heard about the next Forza or we won't by the time this video goes out. But yeah, Holdens the next 4 weeks, I think. I think they're all Holdens. So I will be coming in and testing those out as they are added. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for a first look at the first-gen RX-7 here on Forza Horizon 4. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with the next video very soon. I didn't just crash.